Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
काम क्रोध नगर मह सबला, नित उठ उठ जूझ करीजै। अंगीकार करो रख ले वो, गुरपुरा काड कढीजै। गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद, गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत। गुर मेरा देव अलख अपेयो, सर्ब पूज चरण गुर सेयो। गुर बिन अवर नाही मैं थाओ, अन दिन जपो गुरु गुरु नाओ। रहो गुर मेरा ज्ञान गुर दे ध्यान, गुर गोपाल पुरख भगवान। गुर की सरन रहो कर जोर, गुरु बिना मैं नाही होर। गुर बोहित तारे पव पार, गुर सेवा जमते छुटकार। अंधकार मह गुर मंत्र उजारा, गुर के संग सगल निस्तारा। गुरपुरा पाइयै वड भागी, गुर की सेवा दुख न लागी। गुर का शब्द ना मेटै कोय, गुर नानक नानक हर सोए। गुर का शब्द ना मेटै कोय, गुर नानक नानक हर सोए। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਹਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਗੱਜ ਗੱਜ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਉਣ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। We're blessed to be sitting in the Sangat of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, who are now in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And the last pankti of that Shabad was that Guru Nanak, Nanak Har Soy. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is our Guru and Guru Nanak Dev Ji is Vaheguru. There's no difference between Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Vaheguru. The light that shines from the sun sometimes doesn't come to us from the sun, it comes to us from the moon. It's the same light, it reflects. Guruji is that light, the same light. Start understanding that our Guru is not just a teacher, he's not just a prophet, he is the light of God. He's come down to teach us the ultimate truth. And all the Gurus are the same light. Nobody predicted some other Guru. I was at Interfaith Festival just now in Southall Park, and there was a bunch of people that were claiming that Guru Nanak Dev Ji had predicted some other Guru is going to come from Batala, and that their Guru, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Guru, was the real Guru. So I think there's a lot of lies about our Guru being spread out there. How are we going to counter these lies? We don't even know sometimes the names of our 10 Gurus. It's a proven fact if you go into the Sangat, not the Sangat, but also if you go into the average street Sikhs, if you ask them, can you name our 10 Gurus in order and tell us how they were related, uttei bas, you can forget the answer for that. We're doing a very bad job of teaching Sikhi to our generations. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to change it? Is to invest in education. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਤਕਲੀਫਾਂ ਹੋਣ, if you got a house that's falling down, you haven't put the foundation strong, the only thing you can do is get the builders in. You can't sit there wishing it's going to happen magically. You have to get the builders in to sort it out. Admittedly, Maharaj is all powerful, but Maharaj wants us to do something. We can't just sit there thinking, oh, Maharaj will sort it out himself. That's a very slack way of doing something. If you look at the days of the Sikhs in the old, they fought battles. Why did they fight battles if they said that Guru Sahib can do it himself? Ki lod si jang mein jaan waste. There was no need, if Guru Sahib was so powerful, to enter into the battle. But Guru Sahib is that powerful. But the Sikhs still entered the battle. and they still fought. So it's important when we see a problem to start to solve that problem and not just worry about, oh, I can't do it, let somebody else do it. This week we're going through the Savaiye. We went up last week up to the third Savaiya, which is out of 10 Savaiye, 10 Savaiye that we use to make Amrit. Those Savaiye come from Akal Ustad Sahib, which is a part written by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And as part of the Akal Ustad, the praise of Akal Purkh Waheguru, Maharaj gives us every day the 10 Savaiye, Sravagu Sudh Savaiye. We talked last week that Maharaj has reminded us that the world will go. In fact, not the world will go, that we will go from the world. Asi Rainani. The world will stay, our family will stay, our kids, sometimes even our parents, they will stay behind. But we will not stay behind. Appai jana hi jana hai. Every single one of us. Now, if we're going to move on, we used the analogy last week of standing at a bus stop. The bus comes and everybody who's at the bus stop has to get on the bus. Whoever's tickets come up on that bus stop has to get on the bus. Now you can sit at a bus stop and have a nice conversation with some of the people there. Kai wari inj honda hai, bus stop baithe, you can meet somebody who's quite interesting, you can have a little chat with them. Oh to theek hai, that's good to have a little conversation with somebody at the bus stop. But then when it's your number and the bus turns up, you got to get on. The problem is we don't know what's going to happen once we get on that bus. So we think we don't know, so we think, koi na, rehni do. I'll find out when the bus gets here. But it's not like that, you see. Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, they're here to tell us what's going to happen when we get on that bus. And what they tell us is something like, there's a bus conductor, he's going to ask you for money. You have to buy a ticket. If you can pay the money for the right ticket, you can go and sit upstairs in nice and comfort. Okay? You'll get your own chair, it'll be nice air conditioned. Or else, if you haven't got the money to pay for the ticket, you go downstairs in the crowd where it's very hot, not nice, and no one enjoys themselves there. So Satsangat Ji, we've got a guru who tells us this, that without the right kind of life, we will waste this life. It's a very important prize that we've won. We don't know how we won the human life. No one remembers what they did in their past life to get this life. But we've won it anyway. Asi bada dulab ehmanas janam dulamb hai. It's very hard to find this. Labna akhaya. But asi lab chuke hai. We all won the human life. That's our first blessing. And our second blessing is that we were blessed enough to be born or to have encountered the house of Guru Nanak. Akal Purkh themselves came upon the earth to bring the truth. And here we are, be blessed is sitting in this house Sangat. So what does Maharaj say? Maharaj says, at the bus stop, you got to earn some money. Because the bus conductor is going to charge you. But how do we earn that money? Maharaj says, Har tan sancho, earn the wealth of Har Naam. And the other stuff doesn't go with you. Although we have nice houses, nice BMW Gaddiyan, we got a lot of rich people in our panth, all of that is a bit like having, dust in your pocket. When you got to take money out, that dust is not going to pay you anything. The only thing you can put in your pocket that stays there is Naam. So Maharaj is telling us that as a Sikh, we should be focusing our efforts upon the right kind of investment. There's no point investing, in umbrellas, right, just before the summer. Because it's going to be nice and sunny. In the same way, if we're about to go from the world and we know we're going to have to go, invest in the right kind of thing. And Maharaj says, Naam, sing Bani, sing Kirtan, do your part. Come here in the morning at 4 o'clock, say Waheguru, say the name of Akal Purkh Waheguru. Try to feel what Maharaj is trying to bring us upon this world. The gift, ki Nanak ke kar keval Naam. In the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Naam is there. Now where is the house of Guru Nanak? It's not just a Gurdwara. The house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not just a Gurdwara. Every Sikh is the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Maharaj says the Sikh is my Sarup. If every Sikh is the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, then every one of us should try and have Naam inside us. So we go in the world and we do something amazing like by Bibi Balpreet Kaur or somebody, they will say, that guy Satpal Singh, in Kenya who saved all those people. The guards, those guards in that mall didn't want to go inside and save somebody. But a Guru Da Sikh, a Sikh who had a dastar on his head, he went in there, risked his life to save people's lives. That's the blessing of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. He's made this community. And it is a community, and you can join that community no matter what community you're from. You can join that community because it's all our history. Now Maharaj says that you are going to get judged and you're going to have to earn some naam so you can pay the price for the ticket. So let's go on now in this one to go through, because Maharaj finished off the last Ashtapadi, the third one. They said, Sri Pat Sri Bhagavan Pajebin Ant Ko Ant Ke Tam Siddhari. Without worshipping the Sri Pat, the one who is the husband lord of the whole world, of Maya itself, Sri Bhagavan, the Shromani Bhagavan, the one Akal Purkh that made everything, not the other Devi Devte, but the Shromani, the highest of them all, Sri Pat Sri Bhagavan Paje Bin. Without doing meditation, without singing the praises of that one, Antako, at the end of our life, Antaketam, the house of death. We will go to the house of death if we do not say Vaheguru and meditate upon God's name. It's no joke. We're trying to drive a car, but we're not turning the keys. It's not going to work. Life is very, very valuable. We must use it for what it's worth. Even Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says in the beginning of Sri Rag, they say, Marna Mulla Marna, Pi Kartaro Darna. Say, oh human being, you think you're so saintly, Sabane Marnaya. Be very scared, be very afraid. Why? Because the reality is very stark. If we don't put the effort in, sana kuch milna hi nahi. And this is what we're going to talk about today. What should we do? Maharaj says in the fourth Svaya, Maharaj says, Tirath Nan Daya Dam Dan Susanjam Name Anek Bisek Hai Ved Puran Kateb Quran Zameen Zaman Saban Ke Pik Hai Paun Ahar Jati Jat Tar Sabe So Bichar Hajar K Dekh Hai Sri Bhagavan Paje Bin Pupat Ek Rati Bin Ek Na Likh Hai Sri Bhagavan Paje Bin Pupat Ek Rati Bin Ek Na Likh Hai. Maharaj says in the first Pankti they say, Tirath Nan. Tirath means to go to place of pilgrimage, like the Ganga, places like that. Go to those places and have Ishnan, Nahana. They go there and they bathe, and they believe that if they go to that place, they will then wipe out all their sins. Maharaj says people do this, they go to Tirath Nan. What also do they do? Daya. They do daya upon other people. They see somebody in trouble and they have a bit of pity inside them, compassion and pity, and they say, you know what, I'll buy him some food. Or they see a bunch of poor people and they say, let's give them some money so they can look after themselves. Now you might say that's a good thing, isn't it? For a Sikh, if they see somebody hungry, to feed them. Have pity on people. Actually, it became into a ritual. These are rituals. People started thinking, I'm going to buy credit. Because they're thinking, I got to get on that bus. I need money to pay the bus conductor. And the money I can get from the good, if I do the right kind of things, I will get the money to pay the bus conductor. And some of them thought, if I go to special places and have a bath, I'll earn some kind of credit. It won't happen. Somebody thought, if I take my money and buy food for the hungry, I'll earn credit. Which is why if you look at this, outside the Hindu mandirs and outside of the masjids, you will see a bunch of poor people always queued up outside. Why are they queued up outside? Because they give you a guilt trip. They go, you've come to God's house, you better buy some credit by giving me money. Look at me, I'm unfortunate. Give me money, you will earn credit in God's court. Maharaj says here, Tirath Nan, no credit. Daya, no credit. Then they go on, Dam. Dam means to keep something in control. What do we keep in control? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. There's people out there that believe if you just keep your senses in control, you will be blessed. Then they go on to say, Dan. Dan means again giving thing away, giving money away to people. Having compassion and then also giving. Sanjam, Susanjam, name. Sanjam means, it's a yoga word actually, and it comes about controlling our mind again. Constantly keeping control of the mind, being on top of it. Like you might sometimes, when you got somebody trying to fight somebody, and you got them in your kabu, you just make sure they can't get their hands out. You're always on top of your mind. That's Sanjam. And in fact, if you look at yoga, all three ways of yoga, the combination of these three ways is called Sanjam. And that means Dhyan karna, Dharna karni and Samadhi. All these three things at the top are called Sanjam. Susanjam. Name. Name means our daily discipline. Like Nitya name. That's called our daily discipline. So some kind of discipline that people have. They won't break that discipline no matter what you do. It might be the strangest discipline out there, but they'll pick one up from somewhere in their family. Asi oh nahi karna. So Mara says, Susanjam name anek bisekhe. Bisekhe means there's different types. Ucheche tarike de. Different types. Anek, so many times that people are out there. They carry on. So there's all these things that people think they should do to earn credit. Maharaj carries on. What else? Veda Puran Kateb Quran. Maharaj says, I have seen the Ved. The Ved means the Vedas. The Vedas. They said, I've seen all the Vedas. Kate Puran. The Puranas are another set of texts that come inside what you might call the ancient Hindu texts. There's no such religion as Hinduism, over culture. But actually within that culture there's texts that are given importance. Some people give them more importance than other people, but the Puranas are a set of texts. Then there's Kateb. Now Kateb in Gurbani refers normally to the non-Islamic Abrahamic literature. So the next one is Quran, that's obviously Islamic one, but the Bible, the Torah, the Old Testament, New Testament, those are all the texts that exist separate from the Quran, but they are from the Abrahamic religions. Maharaj says, Quran, I've seen the Quran, I've seen the Bible, seen the New Testament, seen the Torah, I've seen the Vedas, I've seen the Puranas. All these things Maharaj says. Then, Zameen is Zaman. Zameen is a Punjabi word, very simple. The earth. They said, I've seen the whole earth. And also Zaman, Zamana, means time. Not only have they seen the current time, they've seen the past and they've seen the future. Zameen is Zaman, means they've seen everything. Whatever's ever happened, whatever will happen, anywhere, they've seen it. Zameen, Zaman, Saban ke pekhe. Saban means everything. Pekhe means to see. They've seen everything. All the religions, all the texts, all the earth, all the time. Then Maharaj carries on. Paun ahar jati jat tar, sabeso bichar hajarak dekhe. The dekhe means that they've seen. Hajar means thousands. Hajarak dekhe. What thousands of things has Maharaj seen? This is Guru Gobind Singh Ji talking to us. What have they seen? Paun ahar. People, ahar means food, to eat. Paun means wind, like Pavan Guru, Pawan Guru. So they've seen people that live off the air. That's a strange one, isn't it? Living off the air. These people do not eat anything. We know that air has got water inside it. You know? Hydrogen and oxygen make water. It's in the air. These people are able to, through their own yogic ways, they can actually live off the air. They don't need anything else. They make their own water. They don't need food. They live off their own energy. They literally are self-sustainable. Just off the air. Paun ahar. If you do that nowadays, people think, wow, must be really blessed. People assume that because you might be able to live off the air, you're really blessed. Guru Gobind Singh is going to talk about that in a second. They say, Paun ahar. What else? Jati jatatar. A jati person is somebody who is basically controlling their senses. Specifically, it's about being celibate. People that say, oh, you don't have to get married ever. Kade vyah nahi karna. Stay celibate. Now, it's a requirement in lots of religions. To be a holy person, you have to be celibate. They don't trust you if you're not celibate. What a strange thing, isn't it? If you're a Catholic priest, you have to be celibate many times. Also, look at the Hindu brahmacharis. again, they're also never going to get married. So Jati and Jatatar, people that take on the Jati laws, that they never get married, celibates, Jatatar karna. They take it on, like Amrit Tar. So it means Jatatar karna. Jati, Jatatar. Sabe so bichar. All, sabe means sabe, sare. All the bichar. What's bichar mean? Bichar means like a thinking, like a type of thinking. There's many bichars in even one religion. Dekh lo, all the people that say they're Sikhs out there, there's many types of Sikhs, aren't there? Maharaj says, sabe so bichar. Not just all the religions, they've seen all the different kinds of thinkings inside all those religions. Not only in all the religions, but in all the yogis and all the different types of sects there are, of every single religion. Sabe so bichar, hajar ko dekhe. Thousands of these things they've seen. Maharaj says, I've seen the whole world. It's like Guru Gobind Singh is saying, but Maharaj, a Sikh might say, Maharaj says, there's nothing else like this in the world. A Sikh might say, but have you heard about these lot? Maharaj says, I heard of them. Have you heard about these lot? Yeah, I heard of them. The person's always thinking, there must be somebody Maharaj hasn't heard of. Maybe they've got the right way as well. No, Maharaj says, I've seen every single thing. Then Maharaj goes on to say, what's the solution then? They saw all those people that are trying to earn credit from doing different things. Maharaj says, Sri Bhagavan paje bin pupat ek rati bin ek na lekha. Maharaj says, Sri Bhagavan, Shromani Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord God, the One. Not just a mindless kind of mindlessness, but a real being, Sri Bhagavan. That true Akal Purkh Waheguru, Paje bin. Without meditating upon that one, they've seen many kings who are living in this way, who think they're very special, who've done all these things, but they haven't done Bhakti of the Akal Purkh Waheguru. Bhajan, Bhakti, same root. Ki Bhakti karni means to worship. Bhajan means to do worship as well. You might meet people called Harbhajan. I just met one at the stage. Isn't his name Harbhajan Singh? No, that's the Indian cricketer. Monty was on the stage in Southall. So Harbhajan means to do worship of God. Maharaj says, Sri Bhagavan Paje bin Pupat. There's kings out there that don't even worship God. Maharaj says, Ek rati bin ek na lekhe. Ek rati. To be absorbed in the one. Rati means to be totally absorbed in the worship of the one. In so much love that you can't tell two people apart. That's Sikhi, isn't it? Maharaj says, Gur kirpa, jeh nar ko kini, te eh jugat pashani, nanak leen payo gobind syo, jo pani sang pani. That pani and pani become one. That's how Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji describes. By Guru's grace, they say, I've become one with God like water with water. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji says that. So Maharaj says, Ek rati bin. Without being absorbed in the one, in love of bhajan, Maharaj says, Ek na lekhe. Ek rati bin, ek na lekhe. What is lekha? Lekha means to have some credit. When you have something in your account, when you phone the bank up, you go say, have I got anything left in my account? And they tell you what your balance is. So lekha is that kind of thing. What's in your account? When they open your book, what's in there that's good, that's worth writing home about? If there's nothing in there that is even worth talking about, matlab tode lekhe kuch nahi hega. Maharaj says, Ek rati bin ek na lekhe. There's not even one thing in that book, on that account of ours, that is worth counting if we haven't said Waheguru or worshipped God or try to absorb ourselves with Waheguru. It's a very serious thing Maharaj is saying. Kuch bhi nahi chalna. Look, they've mentioned giving money away. They mentioned doing daya upon people. They mention all the things that our parents tell us growing up. Just be a nice guy, they say. Be a nice person and you'll be alright. 100 of times I remember growing up thinking, I wonder what Sikhi is all about. And people all around me who are Sikhs telling me, just be a nice person and you'll be alright. So Sangaji, is that what Maharaj is saying here, Guru Gobind Singh Ji? They're saying no. You can be a nice person, you can be a meditative person, you can even be a yogi, not even need food to eat, to live. You can be any of these people, and yet, if you haven't worshipped Akal Purkh, Ek, the One, If we haven't worshipped him, then there's not even one single thing on our account worth talking about. So it is serious. And the only thing we can say for Maharaj is try it. If you think, well, I don't know about this, just try. If we even connect to Waheguru once, if we're blessed to come to Gurdwara and say Waheguru's name and connect to Waheguru, we will realize how infinitely valuable that connection is and how completely useless everything else is. But it's something that can't be explained, can only be experienced. So we should make the effort while we're alive, and also especially if we're living near Southall, to come here at 4 a.m. and try and connect to the One. The Saad Sangat ke asre, we can fall in love with Waheguru. Saad Sangat ke asre, Rab seo rang lai. Rang means love. So if we want to fall in love with God, and we don't quite know how, Saad Sangat, we need Saad Sangat. So Maharaj says, Sri Bhagavan paje bin pupat, ek rati bin ek na lekhe. Without the love of the One, everything, all these techniques, all this time spent going to tirths, doing daya, reading the Quran, reading the Purans, reading the Vedas, reading all the Bibles, all of this is being wasted. Then Maharaj goes on to say, the next one, the fifth Ashtapadi, Maharaj says, Suddha sipaha duranta dubaha, susaj sanaha durjan dalenge, pari guman pare man mein, kar parbat pankh hale na halenge, tor arir maror mavasan, mate matangan मान मलेंगे. श्रीपत श्री भगवान कृपा बिन त्याग जहान निदान चलेंगे. Maharaj says, Suddha Sipaha. Sipaha is Sipahi, a soldier. You know what? We're talking about bhajan. Many people then go, well, I'm a warrior. I got a different path. It's alright for me. You guys can do your bhakti, but we're warriors. Let's talk about that now. Maharaj is going to talk about the warriors. Maharaj says, Sipahi. If you have Sipahis that were Shuddh, Shuddh means should. Why is Maharaj saying should? You know when we do Bani, Santhya, they say to us, your Bani is not correct. Thodi Santhya Shuddh nahi hegi. It's not Shuddh. What does that mean? That means that you don't pronounce it properly. You haven't got it perfected yet. But if you have somebody who is perfected their Santhya, that means they are an expert in that. So when you got a Sipahi which is Shuddh, that means a warrior who is actually fully trained and perfected in their technique. Any ki jive ajkal honde take Amrit, come down, say the big kirpan on, and you go like, yeah, I'm a warrior now. No, a perfected warrior who spent time training every day, doing that kind of riyaz you might call, practice every day to get that training perfected. Suddha Sipaha. Sipaha. Durant Dubaha. Now Maharaj says Durant. The word Dur means difficult, awkward, hard. Ant means death. So Durant means hard to kill. It's hard to kill this person because they're so perfected in their technique. But also Dubaha. Baha means arms. So people that can hold their weapons really properly and use those weapons properly. Durant Dubaha. Dubaha again means difficult. Difficult to avoid their strikes. So they're hard to kill, but you see, also they're hard to escape from once they're in front of you. You can't run away from these people. They're perfected soldiers. Well, it says, Suddha Sipaha Duranta Dubaha. What else? Susaj Sanaha. Saj means to be sajje hoye. You know when if somebody gets very dressed up nicely, they aaj bade saj ke aaye hege ho. Saj ke aaye hege, they become very nicely decorated with what? With Sanaha. Sanaha means chainmail. Those kinds of armor and chainmail. So now when you see somebody spends a lot of time as a soldier getting ready, you look like the last samurai when he comes out with the armor on. Or saj ke aaye hege with the armor. So Saj Sanaha. Durjan dalenge. Durjan here means enemies. They're dressed up in chainmail and they dalenge means to destroy. And they destroy their enemies. Dalenge de Durjan. So these people come up, they're perfectly trained warriors, they're hard to kill, even harder to escape from them alive. They're dressed up in chainmail and they can destroy all their enemies. Maharaj said, look, you might have these, O king, you might have these. Kings like to boast about these things. The people inside that team will like to boast about how cool their team is. It's like gang loyalty, isn't it? If you're in the SAS, you're going to talk about how great the SAS is. Maharaj says, now you might have that then. Pari guman pare man mein. You might have pari guman. Guman means pride. You might be very proud. Pari means heavy. You got heavy, deep pride in your mind. Pare man mein. Your mind is filled up, parya hoya, with the guman of pride in your team. Pari guman pare man mein. Kar parbat pankh hale na halenge. How hankari can somebody be? Maharaj says, I'll give you an example of how hankari these people are. How proud they are. Even if the mountains, if they're walking towards a mountain, they will say, Mani hilna. Make the mountain sprout wings and fly away. Mani hilna. That's how ahankari they are. Pankh means wings. Parbat means mountains. Maharaj says, Kar parbat pankh hale. Let the mountain move, grow wings and fly away. They will not move. We know people in our families that are like that. Inni akkad, you can try your best to samjha them. Sunaini, they're full of akkad. They would rather the mountain flew away than they actually decide to change their mind. Maharaj, you might have people like that. You know, I'm not going to move. The mountain better move. Tor areen maror mavasan. Tor means to break. Tor areen. Areen are the enemies. Ar means enemy. They break their enemies. People like that who can break their enemies. Tor. Maror mavasan. Now maror means like to twist. But it means to strangle as well. Teri gardan maror deni. I'm going to twist your neck until you die. That kind of thing, yeah? Maror means to twist. These are warriors who can destroy their enemies. They can break them. Also, the mavasan. Mavasan are people who are not your enemies, but people who are opposed to you. They don't like you. They speak against you. Yeah? Your opposers. Maror mavasan. They even strangle and destroy all their people who are against them. And then, Mate matangan man malenge. Mate matangan means those drunk elephants. Those people in the old days, one of their, like today you might have cruise missiles. In the old days they didn't have cruise missiles. They got an elephant really drunk off alcohol and sent him into the enemy ranks. And that alcohol, the drunk hathi, normally they say a hathi is about 1,000 people's worth of strength. 1,000 men in a hathi, equivalent they used to say. But you see, a person who's drunk often has a strength of 20 men. It's hard for 20 men to control one person who's drunk. So now you imagine a drunk hathi, it's going to be 20,000 men, isn't it? So this was the idea they used to think about. So they used to send a drunk elephant into the ranks. And what they would do with the elephant, they would tie weapons all around him. On his trunk, they would tie shastar, loads of weapons. So when he swung his trunk about, it would chop people up. And on his tail, on his legs, everywhere, they would just put sharp things on him. Maharaj says that these elephants, they got a lot of man as well. The people are very proud of these elephants. Elephants are very hankari as well, Maharaj describes them. So these elephants, matte matangan man malenge. They can destroy the honor and respect of these elephants that are drunk. So these are people who are very powerful soldiers, yeah? People who are very proud of themselves. They destroy all their enemies. Maharaj says next, what would happen if you were such a warrior? What would happen if you were so powerful? You're so proud of yourself. Maharaj says, Sripat Sri Bhagavan Kripa bin Tyag Jahan Nidan Chalenge. Oh Vaheguru, Sripat. Pati here doesn't just mean husband, it means the Lord. And Sri here talks about Lakshmi, Maya, the illusion. Who is the Lord of the illusion? Who made the illusion? Vaheguru. He himself made the illusion and he himself made the solution. Guru Sahib is the solution, Maya is the illusion. So Maharaj says, Sri Pat, Sri Bhagavan. That's Shromani, the supreme Vaheguru, who is actually the Lord of all Maya. Kripa bin. Kirpa here is what we know as grace, blessings. Without Guru Sahib's blessings, without Vaheguru's blessings, without the blessings of God, if we earn the grace of God, is what we're trying to do here. Sri Pata Sri Bhagavan Kripa bin. These people we just talked about, these great warriors, these people who are so powerful, if they do not in their life earn the grace of God, if they don't make God happy with them. Look, you can't get grace without making them happy with you. Try your parents. Go home, cuss your parents. See how happy they get with you. When your parents are happy with you, they do things for you, don't they? And every kid is hoping near his birthday to keep his parents very happy with them. So they get some nice presents. Or if you've done something wrong, you might then for a couple of weeks be very nice at home to get out of the parents' bad books, get into the good books again. So kirpa is always earned. Kirpa doesn't come free, it comes by earning. The problem is in religions like Christianity now, they forgot about Naam. They don't say Waheguru, they don't say the name, they don't have a rosary that they do every day, Mala. So therefore they say grace cannot be earned. They say grace comes magically and it's never earned. So therefore they don't try to earn any grace. Maharaj says no, you have to earn kirpa. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says to us, Pher ke agge rakhiye, jit disse darbar, moho ke bolne boliye, jit sun tare pyar. What can I put in front of you, God, to make you happy with me? What can I say with my mouth that you will hear and you'll be full of love for me? Maharaj says, Amrit vela sachanao vadiyai vichar. In that Amrit vela, that time of immortality, there's two of them every day. One in the evening, around about this time, and one in the morning. Amrit vela is the last hour of the day and the night. Now you see in English, in the Western time system, we go from midnight to midday. But in Punjabi, they don't work that way. They work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the day. And then from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. is the night. So you got two parts, day and night. The last 3 hours of the day, and the last 3 hours of the night are the Amrit Vela, effectively. Especially in the morning. So from 3 to 6 a.m. and then that little bit in the evening, in the PM, which is what Rera Sahib is about. And then Kirtan Katha. That was supposed to be done in the evening when the day comes to an end and night's about to start. See? So that time, the transition between day and night, that's Amrit Vela. So in those times, we should try and say God's name. Say Waheguru, Satchanao, and then Vadiyai Vichar. Contemplate the greatness of God. Now it's hard to sit at home by yourself and contemplate the greatness of God. Sanu ki pada? Most of us, like myself, I couldn't sit there for half an hour thinking about God. I haven't got a clue what to think about. So I'm very blessed. We're all blessed. We got part. Gurbani is Vadiyai Vichar. All of it is Vichar upon the Vadiyai of Akal Purkh. So that's why we should read Bani at that time. Nitnem is Vadiyai Vichar. So Guru Sahib says, Amrit Vela Sachanao Vadiyai Vichar. In the morning, chant God's name, chant the Mool Mantar, and sing Gurbani. Maharaj says, Sripat Sri Bhagavan Kripabin. Without earning the grace of God in this life, Tyag Jahan Nidan Chalenge. We will leave the world. To Tyag means to leave. Jahan means the world. So we will leave the world. We know we're going to leave the world. Tyag Jahan. What will happen to us? Kive chalenge asi? How will we leave then? Maharaj says, Nidan. Not Nitan, but Nidan. Dan means to have something. So in Sanskrit, a Nidan means to have nothing. Death. Without anything, you're basically empty. You're going to go to death. So if we don't have kirpa, we will go to the house of death. But also in Persian, Nidan means a fool. So they will leave as idiots. So you can take it both ways. Guru Gobind Singh Ji knows both the languages. Sometimes when they choose a word, it applies in both. So basically we're going to leave empty-handed with nothing, and we're going to leave without any respect. Handeko, if you sit with your bunch of your mates, yeah, and you know, in school, for example, some of you are a bit old like myself, 34, we don't remember school times. But think back to school days, there's always one person who was seen as an idiot. And you sit in that room full of your mates, yeah, and in walks the fool. And straight away everybody starts cussing that person, eh? No respect for that person, huh? Everybody goes, oh, here we go. Aa gaya. This is what it's going to be like for us when we leave. If we do not earn the grace of God, when we leave, we'll go as idiots. Because inna kuch siga sade hath vich. We had so much in our hands, this human life that we had, and we blew it. Maharaj says, you pachtaega. Ram simar, Ram simar. Maharaj says, pachtaenga. You will regret it. Aur mere man pachtaenga. So we have to try to earn God's grace. And the easiest way for us, Maharaj has made it so easy. Just say God's name and read Bani. What more do we need? Not just do seva. Seva is the first step, but actually read Gurbani. It's not enough for us to come to Gurdwara and matha take to Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji and not make the effort to understand what are the words inside there. Or Sikh nahi baniya fir. Or he's just a person of the world copying. Everybody comes in and matha takes, so they copy, matha take, that's it. Just like we talked about that, the monkeys. It's a scientific experiment they did. They put 4 monkeys into a cell. What they did is, with those monkeys, there was a banana lying there, and every time the monkeys went for the banana, they electrocuted all the floor. So all the monkeys got electrocuted. So after a couple of times, every single monkey said, "Main nahi khana banana. Every time I go for that banana, I get electrocuted." And they all stopped going for the banana. Then what they did next is they took out one of the monkeys that knew about the banana, and they put in one that didn't know about the banana. New one. So now the new one goes for the banana straight away. And every other single monkey grabs hold of that. The 3 other monkeys, they grab hold of him and keep him down. They say, "You don't go for that banana," because they know they're going to get electrocuted. So what happens next then? One by one, they keep taking out one monkey that knows about it. But every time a new monkey comes in, because of crowd mentality, the monkeys still jump on the new one and stop him from going for the banana. Now at one point, there's no one of those old monkeys left. They're all new monkeys. But nobody goes for the banana. It's trained behavior. So now what's happening in our Gurdwara is the same trained behavior. We're coming in matha taking, going on Guru Granth Sahib Ji sometimes, sitting down, and then going off to langar, and then going home. And that's it. For most of us, we think that is Gurdwara. But that's not Gurdwara. Utte Gurdwara si gaye bhi nahi. We didn't even go to a Gurdwara. We just sat in a sort of like a make-up of a Gurdwara. It was like a mock-up. It wasn't a real Gurdwara. A Gurdwara, Maharaj says, Guru Dwara hoye soji paisi. Soji means to understand about life. Understand what Bani is about. Actually, if we haven't understood about Bani, we didn't go to Gurdwara. There was no point. We might as well gone to a mandir, rang a bell, and put milk to the idol. Because kuch hoya hi nahi. Sikhi is about the self-development of the person. The self-development only happens when they themselves inside connect to the Shabad. And the Shabad brings God inside. And they realize, yes, God is really inside me. It's not just some joke. I can feel Him. It's up here. Dasam Dwar. We all got one. We can feel God. I went yesterday to Bedford camp and I said, how many people know about Dasam Dwar? 10% of the audience knew about Dasam Dwar. So we don't even know what our body is made of. Dasam Dwar is a physical thing on top of our head that allows us to experience God. We know we got eyes, but that's 2 of the Dwars. We don't know we got Dasam Dwar. So we don't even know about our body, let alone anything else. Here, right here on top of our head, we can connect to God. So no, bhi nahi pata. 10% of the Panth knew about it. We're in real trouble. Asi Gurdwara ja hi nahi rahe. We're just coming to a mock-up of a Gurdwara, but not a real Gurdwara. Every Gurdwara should be teaching Bani and explaining it to every single person. If you walk into a Gurdwara, they should check, Hanji, tanu ki pata hai? How much do you know and what class do you need to go to make sure that every single person learns. So that's the revolution that needs to happen. Maharaj carries on talking about warriors. Because the 2 times that this part was recited by Guru Sahib, directly to somebody, it was recited to the 2 kings, Bhim Chand and also another king. It was supposed to be royal Upadesh. It's important for us to understand that as well, because in the world, everybody wants to be a king. Everybody wants to be a Raja. Mera na hove, mera changa kar hove. Let people look at me and go, "Vah, check him out, check her out." So actually, we're all trying in some way to become Raja or Rani. But are we actually? What Maharaj is saying, what should we do if you want to be a true king? Guru Sahib carries on. Beer apar bade badiyar, abichare sar ki tar pachaiya, tort des malind mavasan, mate gajan ke maan malaiya, gade gadan ke todan har, batan hi chak chal lavaiya, sahib sri sab ko sirnaik, jach kanek, so ek davaiya. Maharaj says, look at this. There are people out there that are brave warriors. Beer. We've got loads of people now of Panth have got Beer in their name, or Veer. It means a warrior, brave warrior. Apar. Apar means beyond count. So many brave warriors, you can't even count. You had an army so big, you can't even count how many people are in your army. Maharaj says, Beer apar. Bade bariyar. They are big, bade. Also, these warriors, they are bariyar. If your surname is Brar, might want to listen up, this is where it comes from. Okay? Bariyar means, the first word bar means to have a bal, strength. Rara is swapped by lalla, so it becomes bal. And ar is alya, which means a house. They're the house of strength. So these great warriors who are so brave, they're actually the house of strength. Abichare hai, sar ki tar bachaiya. Bichar means to think about before you do something. Abichar means to not hesitate, to not think, do it straight away. Abichare hai. Straight away, without hesitation, these people, sar ki tar pachaiya. Sar is metal, loha. So here it means a shastra, a weapon. Sar ki tar. Tar is like, khande tar, the edge of the khanda. So the edge of the sword, the edge of the weapon. Sar ki tar pachaiya. Pachaiya here means to eat. Without hesitation, these great warriors would step into a battle and go in and eat swords. The edge of a sword they need to. They would take blows upon. They would suffer blows without hesitation for the sake of their cause. Now, Satsangaji, if we look at the cause in Sikhi, this is a very big thing, because just to imagine a sword coming towards you, there's no chance to hide there. You either have to have done your training properly, or that's it, that's your end. You can't go into a battle half-hearted. You know, it's either kill or be killed. In that moment. So your training has to be perfect. So you have to have trust in three things. You have to trust in your own training. You have to trust the people around you in their training. And you have to trust the leader and what he's doing. Otherwise, you would always hesitate. You would think twice. They don't even think twice, they would go into battle. In the same way, for us as a Panth, we need to start looking at our own training, the training of those people around us, and finally in our leaders. And are they actually people that we want to follow? Because most of the time nowadays, we won't even follow them around the Gurdwara, let alone outside. We've had people come as leaders, but no one will follow them. So they're not leaders. They're self-proclaimed. So Maharaj says, look, if you had these people who are so powerful, who are so adept in their fighting, that without hesitation they will step into battle, prepared to get chopped. Maharaj says then, Tort des malind mavasan. Tort des, tort means to break, like torna. Tort des. They would break and win over all the countries, desh. All the desh are the countries. Malinda mavasan. Malinda means to rub into the ground. Mertena. Who would they rub into the ground and destroy? The mavasan. Again, people who are against us. Aki. Like we say, Raj Kariya Khalsa, Aki rahe na koi. Make sure you say Aki, not Baki. There was a guy that once said to me, why do you guys say Baki rahe na koi? I said, no, it's Aki. Aki means to be opposed to us. So the Khalsa will Raj, and no one will be opposed to us. In fact, they'll be saying, Tusi Raj karo. That's what this means, yeah? There'll be nobody opposed to the Khalsa Raj. People think you're going to force it upon us. No, it won't be forced upon the people. It will be given to us by the people of the world. They will say, Khalsa, please, you rule. No one else has the right mentality to rule. Tusi karo. So Maharaj says, Tort des malinda mavasan. People who would destroy, break and win over other countries, destroy anybody against them. Mate gajan ke maan malaya. Mate again means drunk. Gajan means elephants. Mate gajan, drunk elephants ke maan malaya. Again, they will destroy the pride of these drunk elephants. Whereas if you had these people who could even destroy the most scary weapons out there, also, Gade gadan ke todanhar, subatam hi chakchar levaya. A gad means a fort. A Gade gadan, a fortified fort. A stronghold that's been fortified properly. Gade hoya gadan. If you had strongholds that were really strong, that were really made hard, ke todanhar, and then people could break into those. These people are so powerful, they can break into even the fortified places. Gade gadan ke todanhar. Then, subatam hi chakchar levaya. Batan means to speak. Chakchar means all the four directions. And levaya means to take it. So with just their voice, just their talking, they could take over countries in all four directions. How can you take over a country with just talking? You can do a threat. You can say, if you don't do this, we'll come and do that. And they're so scared of you, utte hi haar gaye. They go, take it then. Asi nahi ladna. People, like they say, some countries you can walk in to take over without firing a single shot. Why is that? Because the mere threat of an attack is so big. Subatan hi chakchar levaya. If people that were so strong that could break into the most fortified strongholds, your reputation was so big that any country, anywhere, in any direction, would just give up if you stepped up and said something. Mara says, even if you had all of that, you're the biggest and the baddest basically, everybody is scared of you. Mara says, then what would happen? Sahib Sri Sab Ko Sir Naik Jachik Anek Su Ek Davaya. Mara says, even then, Sahib Sri, the Shromani Lord, Shromani means Sri, Lord, Sahib. Sab Ko Sir Naik. Sir means our head. Naik means again the master on top of the head. The Akal Purakh Waheguru, who is the husband of, who is the Lord of Maya, who is also the one on top of all of our heads. Sahib Sri Sab Ko Sir Naik. Even amongst these people that are so powerful, even then, God exists on top of them. Sahib Sri Sab Ko Sir Naik. And then, Su Jachik Anek Su Ek Davaya. Jachik means a beggar, a mangta. Jachik Anek. There are millions and millions of beggars. Su Ek Davaya. There's only one person who gives. Davaya means to give. Ek is one. You've got, and after all of this, Mara says, the reality is this. The one Waheguru, the Lord of everything, is on top of all of our heads. And that one person, the one Lord, Akal Purakh, actually is the only giver. And every other person out there are all beggars. Asi sare mangte hage. Just think about how many times in my life we ask for something. Ki Maharaj eh kar do. Oh, I wish this happens. Oh, I wish that happens. We're all beggars. We're all beggars. What do we give? Asi dende ki hage. We get £100 from Waheguru. We maybe hesitate to give back 10%. If we give £5, we say, I hope everybody recognizes that I gave £5 and I get so much respect in the world. Make it, don't go £100. Go to whatever the average salary in this country is 20, 30 grand. How many people would give 3 grand away a year? That's 10%. If they gave even 1,000, they'd want the whole world to know that they gave that £1,000. Maharaj says, you give a little, satya man santok upje dene ke vichar. De de mange sehsa guna, sob kare sansar. These people, they give once, but what do they want back? 100 times more. They want that kind of respect in the world for giving. Maharaj says, Jachik anek. So many beggars, every single person is a beggar. Su ek davaya. There's only one giver, Akal Purakh Waheguru. So this brings us back to understanding, no matter who we are in this world, no matter how powerful we are, we have to be thankful to that one who gives to us, recognizing where what we get comes from. We've heard that story one time. There was a lady, and she was, from a rich off family, but she would always thank Waheguru for her food. She would thank Guruji for her food. So she said, this is by the blessing of Guru Nanak Dev Ji I got this food. And her father would listen to her. One day he got a bit annoyed. He goes, what do you mean this is by the blessing of Guru Angad or Guru Arjan Dev Ji? I got this for you. Dekho, who is he talking about? Bani is saying, Pal mathara kach peda nahi, Guru Arjan partak har. There's no mistake about this. Guru Arjan Dev Ji is God. He's talking about God and he's saying, I give to you, not him. So Sangatji, he got annoyed with his daughter. He got her married off to a leper. He goes, I'll show you how big your Guru is. He got her married off to a leper. Soch lo. Every woman has a dream of what her marriage is going to be like, what her husband will be like. Now imagine the dreams of that girl then, when she sees that her father marries off to a leper, a person whose skill is peeling off, his digits might be falling off, someone you would find hard to even look in the face. But this lady, she accepted it. She accepted it. If it's my hukum for stating the truth about my Guru, I'll accept that hukum. Tera kiya, meetha lage. Look at that respect for the Guru Sahib. Look at that worship of Guru. Ki respecting ki je hoya, Guru Sahib knows. Guru Sahib knows what's happening. It's by his will that what happens next. She accepted it. Hondeko, she went to Harmandir Sahib with her husband. And as she left him there, her husband saw a crow going into Harmandir Sahib, having a bath ishnan, coming out as a hans. Gawa went in, came out as a swan. He sees this happening and he says, wow, Ram Das Sarovar. The Sarovar of Guru Ram Das Ji, who Guru Ram Das Ji himself dug that Sarovar. They themselves made that Sarovar. Guru Arjan Dev Ji themselves made Harmandir Sahib. Not somebody else that made it for us. They themselves made it. Then he sees that and he says, let me see if I'll go in. Maybe because they can't, maybe I'll get blessed. This is the house of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. My wife has so much respect for Guru Arjan Dev Ji, maybe I'll get blessed. He goes in to have a ishnan. As he goes in, he comes out and he sees that he's being purified straight there away. His diseases are being wiped out. All his rog, sare rog ode ja rahe hege. He's becoming back to full. Na? My Guru is that powerful. Sab to vad samrat Gurudev. He is the most powerful amongst all. Sab to vad samrat Gurudev. Sab sukh pai tiski sev. If we serve him, seva doesn't just mean doing seva and langar, by the way. Seva means becoming a Sikh. To become a servant is to become a Sikh. Sab sukh pai, is becoming a Sikh of Guru. Every single sukh out there will be available to us. And this guy, when he went in, he had a bath. He kept his hand out. He kept one finger out of his hand, outside the water. He knew when he comes out of that water, his wife is not going to recognize him. He kept one finger out. Ki oh mainu dekh ke man lave ki main ohi haga. I'm the same husband. Now look, that father wanted to punish that daughter for saying that Guru Arjan Dev Ji was Dada Data Ek hai. Sabko Devanhar. That Guru is the giver. And look what she got back for that faith. Both the husband, who thought his life must be ruined, he was purified, and her life was bliss as well, compared to what she thought it was going to be. Yahi hai ki Maharaj Ji Kirpa. That's the strength of our Guru. Sab sukh pai tiski sev. Becoming a servant of Guru, we will get blessed. It's not the case that we're going to always suffer. Physically, being a servant of Guru may involve some suffering. But ultimately, this physical life, Maharaj says, is a kapda. Karmi ave kapda. Nadri mokh dwar. By this kapda that we have, we just shake it off. And nadri mokh dwar. By the kirpa of Guru, what we talked about today, the kirpa of Akal Purakh, then we will be counted. Without that, not one single thing will be counted. So how can we earn that kirpa? Maharaj says, Sabna jiyan ka ik data so main visir na jai. Visir nahi datar apna naam deho. Gun gawa din raat nanak chao eho. That datar, Maharaj says, let me not forget that every single person is given to by that one. And then I only ask one thing. So main visir na jai. Let me not forget him. Maharaj says, all day and night let me sing his praises. So we're going to finish off with a little bit of Simran. Again, I'm not very good at Simran, so we'll just try. Key thing is that we focus when we say it. You know? Just to say God's name and really focus upon our Guru. Even for 5 minutes, that kadi, that vela is safal if we say Vaheguru's name. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. Vaheguru, 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 Guru Vaheguru, ਉੱਚਾ ਬੋਲੋ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 So I'm sure I made loads of mistakes in Sangat ji. Next week we're going to carry on through the Katha. Please forgive me my mistakes. Deo sajan ਸੀਸੜੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿਓ ਮੇਲ ਗੱਜ ਗੱਜ ਕੇ ਆਖਣਾ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਟੋਡੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਚਰਨ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਉਰ ਧਾਰੇ ਸਿਮਰ ਸੁਆਮੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਫਲ ਹਮਾਰੇ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਚਰਨ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਉਰ ਧਾਰੇ ਸਿਮਰ ਸੁਆਮੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਸਫਲ ਹਮਾਰੇ ਰਹਾਉ ਪੁੰਨ ਦਾਨ ਪੂਜਾ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਹਰ ਕੀਰਤ ਤਤ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵਤ ਆਤੁਲ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਇਆ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਅਗਮੋ ਅਪਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਜਨ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੀਨੇ ਤਿਨਕਾ ਬਹੁਰ ਕਛ ਨਾ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਨਾਮ ਰਤਨ ਸੁਨ ਜਪ ਜਪ ਜੀਵਾ ਹਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੰਠ ਮਝਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਜਨ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੀਨੇ ਤਿਨ ਕਾ ਬਹੁਰ ਕਛ ਨਾ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਨਾਮ ਰਤਨ ਸੁਨ ਜਪ ਜਪ ਜੀਵਾ ਹਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੰਠ ਮਝਾਰੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।